No, don't bother to change your T-shirt,
Are
Ben.
you sure?
You'll be fine. The viewers won't mind. It'll be
It's the
okay.
illusion, Phil, that we do these every day. That's what I was trying to create.
I know, but well, we'll just let it go.
I've got
Hello,
18 of this shirt. That's what it is.
hello, lovers of music and quizzes. Welcome to Full Record Jacket. It's quiz time. Ben is the
Quiz time.
quizmaster. I,
He
Phil,
is.
am the victim, and I have no idea what this quiz is going to be about. So, Ben, as quizmaster,
There we go.
it's over
There's
to
the
you.
questions.
Oh, great.
Are you ready? Today's quiz, Phil. Are you ready for this one?
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Right. We are today. The quiz is the B-sides to all of Robbie Williams' songs in the 90s. It's Frank Sinatra, Phil. It's Frank Sinatra. We're doing Frank.
It's
Now,
only Frank Sinatra. Okay.
only Frank Sinatra. I was going to mix it up. What I will say about the questions is
Yeah.
it was really hard trying to put it together because there's so much data or information on Frank Sinatra.
He had a long career.
He did have a long career. So I've got 25. They're probably not as in depth as they could be, but we'll see. We'll see how clever you are because, as you said, I know everything about Frank Sinatra.
I never said that ever. I don't claim to know everything at all.
I see your lips moving.
Am I allowed to revise?
You can revise if you've got a book, yeah.
Well, I do actually have this book, which is all about it's sessions with Sinatra. It is Frank Sinatra and the Art of Recording. This is actually a really interesting book. If you're not, even if you're not into Sinatra himself, right? This is a really interesting book because it takes you through his career, just the records, but it also talks in not too much detail, but enough detail just to be interesting about the history of recording and how records were made. And of course, his career spanned everything from those very early days of recording into a. I don't think he was actually singing into a horn, but those early microphones.
Yeah. Well, it spanned from the moment he started to the moment he stopped.
They were cutting records, literally cutting it into wax and then tape. And then the last stuff he did when he did that duets project in the 90s, it was done digitally. So he went from wax to digital. So, so you said I could revise. I will just do a quick bit of revision.
He's good. He is literally like a hard drive of knowledge. Look at him. It's like 20,000 terabytes of stuff inside that chromium-sized chromium. Got chrome. I can't even speak anymore. The chrome dome on his head. You're revised, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready?
Quite frankly, yes, I'm ready.
Question 1. In 1935, Frank Sinatra bumped into a lady on the high street of his local town. What was her name and what was she wearing? That isn't question 1 at all, Phil. I'm joking with you, Phil. In which live album is he accompanied by Count Beige, is it? Count Beige and his orchestra.
Count Beige sounds like a very boring band leader, doesn't he?
I think I might have written that down wrong. It's not spelled beige.
Is it Count Basie?
Basil. Yeah, Basie, that's it. It's my S. My S isn't written very well. Count Basie and his orchestra. Was it A, Live from Vegas, B, Sinatra at the Sands, or C, Sinatra and Sextet Live in Paris?
Okay, well, I think that Paris one when that was recorded, but that did, yeah, I've heard of that one. But it is the one from I think 1966. It was recorded at the Sands Hotel in Las Vegas. It's Sinatra at the Sands.
Look at you, Mr. Knowledge. That is correct. 1 down. Oh, by the way,
there's a lot I don't know. There's a hell of a lot I don't know about. I know.
Right, there's 25 questions. You've got to get, what did we say, 18 correct?
Probably. Hang on, wasn't it 18 when it was 30 questions? The pass mark was 18.
You need, what's 75% of 25?
Well, it's a 60. What's the pass mark in a percentage?
60. So we go 60%.
That means I have to get 15, doesn't it?
15. You'll have 10 wrong. So you got one right. You're almost there. Which Beatles song did he not cover?
Okay.
Was it Yesterday, Something, or In My Life?
Well, I know he described something as, I think he said, the greatest love song of the half century or something. Um, so he did something. And I do know that he did Yesterday. And he did Yesterday in the mid 60s, I think, not long after it had been done by the Beatles. Uh, so it's In My Life. He never did In My Life.
Correct. He never did In My Life. Here we go. This one you should know. In which year did Elvis and Frank share a stage? I can make it multiple choice if you want.
Okay, I think I know this. I think it's the only time it ever happened.
Go on.
So I'll say this was March of 1960, and I'll say this is when he came back. Elvis came back from the US Army, and there was the Frank Sinatra Timex TV special, and they sang "Witchcraft" and "Love Me Tender" as a duet. Do you know why they? Do you know why that? Do you know how that happened? It's because Nancy Sinatra, who's a daughter of Frank Sinatra,
Yeah.
her and her friends were massive fans of Elvis Presley. Daddy Frank Sinatra wasn't that keen on rock and roll, but because Nancy basically nagged him, he agreed to have Elvis as the guest on his TV special when he came back from the army. So that was basically it.
I'd love it if I turned around and said, no, it was 1962. How tall was Frank Sinatra? Was he 5'8", 5'7", 5'9", or 5'10"?
Do you know? I don't know this. I can't remember if I've read it anywhere. This is a good question, actually.
I just need to double check.
This is a good question because sometimes, obviously, a lot of the time, these stars are not as tall as you think they're going to be in real life. If you see any of them in real life, when I saw Prince in real life, I wasn't too shocked because I was expecting him to be small. But so there are one or two that are smaller than I thought they were going to be. Bono's not very tall. Several others, but how tall was Sinatra? I have a feeling he was taller than average. Was he 5'10"? He might have been. Oh, I should know this, but for some reason my gut feeling is telling me 5'10", and I've got no reason that I can give for it being any of the others, other than maybe it was. Or is he shorter? Because of course he's Italian heritage, so and Italian people are not generally known for being tall, are they? So that then's making me think, why are you thinking he's that tall? Because he's Italian. So what was the choices? Was it 5 foot? What's the lowest choice you gave me? 5 foot.
5'7", 5'8", 5'9", or 5'10"?
I'm now thinking that maybe he was 5'8".
I'm gonna have to hurry you.
Okay, I'm going to go 5'9".
He was 5'7". Some places say he was 5'7.5", but we'll go with 5'7". What was Frank Sinatra's favourite colour? I can make it multiple choice.
I think I'll have to have a multiple choice, so I have no idea whatsoever.
Blue, green, red, indigo, orange.
Well, I really have no idea. I mean, he sang "Mood Indigo," the Duke Ellington song. Know that much. He had this marketing thing in the 70s about being old blue eyes. I've no idea what his favourite colour would have been. I mean, could it have been red? Because he could be I have no idea. Green seems a bit too laid back.
He was a
Indigo.
swing singer.
Seems a weird one, doesn't it? I don't know. I'm going to go with indigo.
Indigo, you say? You are correctly wrong. It was orange.
I wouldn't have gone for orange, so there you go. So I got 2 wrong so far.
2 wrong, yeah. Which local singing group did he join in 1935? Oh.
I should know this, but
Yeah, well, you should.
I
love Sinatra.
Can I have multiple choice?
Well, you could, but I only know.
You haven't got it.
No.
Okay. All right, if
I can think of some names.
If I don't get a multiple choice, do I get to know what letter it started with?
Well, I'll give you some clues. I'll give you three guesses.
Yeah, this is a standard question. If you're revising to go on Mastermind or whatever, you should know this, shouldn't you? But I can't remember it.
Was it the Flashes, Three Flashes, or White Flashes?
Those are the 3 choices.
I've just come up with 2 of them, which I think was quite good.
I think is it the 3 Flashes? It was a trio he was in.
I don't know. You tell me, Philip. Tell me.
I'll go for the 3 Flashes.
Correct. All right, Mr. Smug Chops. In 1938, Sinatra found employment as a singing waiter at a roadhouse called...
I don't know that one.
Do you want some clues? Do you want 3 multiple choices?
Go on. I probably wouldn't know it anyway, but go for it.
The Outhouse, the Rustic Cabin, or something else.
I'll go with the Outhouse then.
It was the Rustic Cabin. The Outhouse.
I was thinking the Rustic Cabin was something that you just made up, but there you
go. Oh, dearie me. Right. What was the name of Sinatra's first commercial release? His first ever commercial release.
Was this with Harry James and his orchestra?
I didn't look that deep into it. I just got the name.
I'm going to go
so it's the first thing he ever released commercially.
First song that was released commercially in his name. I don't think they released anything commercially with that group. I think it was when he was with Harry James and his orchestra. And I must admit, I don't know the first song, but I think I'm going to go for All or Nothing at All.
No, it's From the Bottom of My Heart.
Right, yeah, okay.
I love Sinatra. Here we go. What percentage of Sinatra's lifetime earnings were contracted to Tommy Dorsey, which finally ended after a 1942 court battle? What was the percentage? Was it? Do you want multiple choice?
Okay.
Was it 41%, 42%, 43%, or 44%?
I have no idea. Because Tommy Dorsey was the band leader. I mean, at one time, Tommy Dorsey's band was the biggest swing band in America, and he was the singer up to that point, and then he left to go solo in early 40s. What was the percentage? I've no idea. 42%.
Ooh, 43%. Oof. Anyway, back on. Which year did Frank Sinatra leave This Mortal Coil?
That was 1998.
It was indeed. Can you name all the members of the Rat Pack, including their middle names? No, I'm joking. No middle names.
Well, there was Frank Sinatra. He was in it. There was Dean Martin.
Yes.
There was Sammy Davis Jr.
There was.
some people said that sometimes listed Shirley MacLaine as a member, but then others said that she wasn't really a member. She was like a mascot. So I don't think she got
No,
Shirley MacLaine on there. The other man
no.
was Peter Lawford.
There's one more.
So another one. There's another
There's
one.
5.
Oh, Joey
There's
Bishop.
You are correct, Philip. You're back on this scoring trail. You are knocking them out the park. It's a home run.
Nearly forgot Joey Bishop for a second there.
What other names did the Rat Pack like to go by? There's 2 names. I can give you some clues.
Okay.
The Boys.
I was going to say the Boys.
The Clan.
Maybe.
The Team. The Summit. The Dream. And the Voices.
Can't see it being the Voices. I can see it being the Boys, and I can see it being this possibly the Summit, but maybe the Team. Do I have to give one answer?
There's 2. There's 2 answers.
I've got to give both of them to get the point.
I'll give you 2 marks. I'll give you a mark for each one. So there's a possible 26.
I'll go for the Boys and the Team.
You have battered that right into the catcher's hands because it was the Clan and the Summit. The others are made up, Phil. I made them up. Fell into my trap.
You made
the rat trap. Yes, I did. Thank you very much. I came up with them on the spot as well. So
it was the Tender Trap.
Yes, it was the Tender Trap. They were a band, weren't they, in the early 2000s? Was it the Tender Trap? No, I can't remember.
It was also a song that Sinatra did, so that's
yeah.
So
in which year did Frank Sinatra set up Reprise Records?
I think he did the first. Well, I'm pretty sure the first album on Reprise Records came out in 1960. I think so. Is that the year he set it up?
You tell me, Philip.
I'll have to say 1960.
Back on the winning trail. That's a mark in the box. Boom! Mic drop moment. Which famous crooner inspired Frank to become a singer in the 1930s?
Well, I'll say that his biggest influence was Bing Crosby.
It was indeed. I'm still scarred by Bing Crosby and David Bowie all these years later. So on to the next. We're getting through these. Which Sinatra album features My Funny Valentine? Now, I have multiple choice if you wish for them.
Okay.
Or you can try and batter out the park.
Well, trying to think. You'll have to give me the multiple choice.
Is it A, In the Wee Small Hours, B,
No.
Songs for Swinging Lovers, or C, Songs for Young Lovers?
It's Songs for Young Lovers. I knew it was one of those early 2 Capital ones, but yeah.
That is correct. In which year was Frank... Well, no, actually, not which year. What date was Frank Sinatra born on? Just double check my research here. I can give you a clue.
It was December 1915, and I can't remember the exact date now. I'm going to go for the 13th of December.
Do you know what?
What?
Because you got it within 1, it was the 12th. I'm going to give you that one.
Okay.
I'm going to give you that.
Thanks.
In which year did he record My Way? Do you want the multiple choice? Do you think you can get it?
I don't think I need a multiple choice. It's 69.
It's not. It's 1968.
That when he recorded it? You might be right. Yeah. Was
it I know everything about Frank Sinatra.
I never said that I know everything. I've never.
I know. I do. I am mocking you. I'm just going to double check my when.
It possibly was. Yeah, you could well be right with that.
Sinatra record My Way. He recorded it in Frank Sinatra. What year did Frank Sinatra? It was 1968. Oh, Phil, you should have let me given you the clues.
I probably would have
Right.
still said 69.
How many albums has Frank Sinatra sold? This is estimated amount. Do you want the
Just before I answer that question, do you know when he recorded My Way exactly? The 30th of December, 1968.
Still 1968, isn't it?
It was 1968, quite right, yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
What you're asking now, how many albums he's sold?
Yeah, is it 150 million, 140 million, or 160 million?
That's a good question. I did read not long ago, because Billy Joel and Bruce Springsteen are doing the Hyde Park concerts in London. I looked them up, and I think they both sold. I think the 150 million figure was the same for both of them. I think that, or was it that Joel had slightly outsold Springsteen? But it was around about that amount. But one of them, I think, had done 150 million albums, and unless I've completely misremembered that, but that's the figure I've got in my head. So did Sinatra sell more than them? Well, he was around for longer, but possibly didn't have the intense popularity at one over a decade or two in the way that Springsteen and Joel did. And they didn't sell as many records years ago as they did in the rock era. So kind of it's difficult to know. But because he was around for so long, I want to go for the top figure. I'm going to go for 160 million.
It's 150 million.
Oh.
Which year was his debut album released?
Well, that depends what you mean by an album. I suppose there was a. What year was an actual album done? I mean, an album was on a. Are you talking about a 10-inch LP, or are you talking about an LP that?
I'm just talking about an album.
Okay.
It's his first album.
Well, the first album that he did for Capitol was the one you mentioned earlier on, with Songs for Young Lovers, but that was his first album on Capitol. There were albums on the Columbia label before that. And I'm trying to think what they would be. I'm going to go for the. I don't know this for sure. I'm going to go for The Voice of Frank Sinatra.
What year? It's the year.
Well, 1940 something, but I'm not sure what year they put one out that was actually an album, because it was very much a singles market then. And then you used to be able
if you
to buy
get it within 1 year, I will give you the mark.
You used to be able to buy albums. You know why it's called an album? Because you used to be able to buy albums. You'd buy an album with a load of 78s in, a whole load of discs, like a load of singles in.
And it would go inside an album.
Yeah, like a photo album.
Do you want me to give you a multiple choice?
Go on. It's 1940.
1945, 1946, or 1947?
Well, there's definitely one. Definitely some that were in 1947. Was the one before that? I'm going for 47.
1946.
Oof.
These are tougher than I thought they were going to be, aren't they?
What was
With
that?
which
what was
song
that
did
called?
it? I don't know. I didn't write the album down. I just took the year. Don't you worry, Phil. It was 1946. With which song did he have a top 40 hit in 1980?
Oof, a top 40 hit in 1980.
Yeah.
This is in the UK.
Maybe. I'll find out. Let me. Yeah, 1980. Yeah, released April 1980, and it got to number 2 in Canada, 4 in Ireland, 35 on the Cashbox Top 100 in America, 32 on the Billboard 100, and top 10 on and number 10 in the Billboard Adult Contemporary, and number 59 on the UK Singles Chart.
Is this one that was re-released again in around 1986?
My return. Yes, it was.
Yeah, I'm going to go for the theme from New York, New York.
It was New York, New York. Well done, Phil.
Do you know who first recorded that?
Liza Minnelli.
It was Liza Minnelli.
Was it?
For
I don't know why that's facts.
Martin Scorsese's movie, New York, New York.
In which year did Sinatra have his most prolific releases of albums? In this year, he released 6. Was it 1961, 1962, or 1963?
Well, this would be the overlap because he was signed to Capitol, and then, as you mentioned in your question earlier, he set up Reprise Records, and he was seeing out his contract with Capitol and having to make albums for them while he was also making his new albums and making other albums on Reprise. So it would have been the early 60s. And I'm trying to... Was 1961 a choice in there?
1961, 1962, or 1963?
It's got to be... I think it's got to be 61 or 62 because I think the Capitol stuff stopped after 62. Would that have been 61? I think his last album that came out on Capitol was 61. So I think that was called Point of No Return, ironically. I'm going to have to go for 61.
It's 1962.
Oh, it's 62.
Yeah. How many stars does Frank Sinatra have on the Hollywood Walk of Fame?
You can get them for different things, can't you? You can have them as a recording artist and as an actor and whatever. So I can see that he would have one. Does it have one as a...
Is it 2,
and
3, 4, or 5?
I've actually been to this Hollywood Walk of Fame, and I've actually
been to Hollywood.
I think I might have seen one of his, but they have a little logo next to the name, and they have like either a little record or the theatre thing with the masks.
Well, the thing with the Hollywood Walk of Fame is they're not given those stars. They have to pay a considerable amount of money for them. They all make out like it's some big honour. Oh, look, I've been given this. It's like, no, you paid for it. You've paid for that to be there. You weren't given it.
But don't they have to? But don't they have to have reached a certain? Don't the committee have to have said yes, you're famous enough to have one? And then,
but you have to apply for it, and then you pay like the $20,000, and then you get your star.
Right, okay, and then they get one. And they pay for every year.
Yeah.
Well,
so what do you reckon? 2, 3, 4, or 5?
Well, I'm trying to think. He must have at least 2. He's got to have at least 2 because he was actor and singer. But then my other thing is, do they have one for being a singer? Do they have one for a recording artist as well as a singer? Is a different thing. What else could he have got one for? What else? One for movies, one for records, one for... Well, it wasn't really theatre. So I can't think what else you get one for. I'll go for 2. I can't think what the third one would be, but I wonder whether it might be
3
and recording artist. It's 3. What are they then?
Right. Sinatra won an Oscar for his role. Well, Best Supporting Award for his role in which film?
Okay. From Here to Eternity.
It was From Here to Eternity. Sinatra first retired in 1971. For how long did this retirement last for?
I think he came back in '73.
I can make it.
So I think it was.
So you're going 2 years?
Yeah, if that was one of the choices, then that's what I'm going for. If you're telling me that
2 years.
the choices were all different, then I'll ask to hear the choices.
I was going to go 2, 3, or 4. So it's actually 3 years.
Oh, was it 74 that he came back?
No, it wasn't. It was 2
3.
years. Yeah, it's correct. Now let me just check. Oh, we're on to the last question. You know, I like to throw a curveball question in, like in the Elvis quiz. Oh, my bottom's gone numb.
I can't remember how many I've got wrong now. Can you?
A lot. Are you ready for the final question? Question 25.
Yeah.
We'll find out when I count them up. Right. Are you ready? It's took a little bit digging out, but Frank Sinatra once said in 1994 of UK entertainer Noel Edmonds, "He is my kind of guy. I'd love to do that show about the bottom. It looks like it'd be fun." Is that true or false?
You dug that out. Well, 1994, that was the time that Noel Edmonds was still doing that show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Why the hell would Sinatra talk about that? Would he talk about that? I'm trying to think of the last time he came to the UK. I know he did some concerts in the UK in the early 90s. He performed at the Royal Festival Hall. Was it 94? I don't know. Would he have been in this country and then watched Noel Edmonds and said that about him? Or is it just something that you've completely made up? I mean, it's so bizarre. You said it took a while to dig up. I mean, how could you have dug that up? I mean, well, if you dug it up, then it must be true. Or you're lying about digging it up and you've just totally made that up. But it's quite a made-up thing. I mean, I got you with a made-up thing about the Boo Radley's video being made in Chris Evans's kitchen, didn't I?
Yeah. I know I might not be as cruel as you, though.
You might not be, but then maybe you are. But then you've been pretty. But then you see the thing about what exactly is he supposed to say about Noel Edmonds again?
His quote was, it is written here somewhere. His quote was, where have I written it?
You literally just read that to me.
Yeah, he is my kind of guy. I would love to do that show about the bottom. Looks like it could be fun.
I want to say that's false. It can't be true. Wow. No, I'm saying it's false.
Are you sure?
Well, I'm not sure, but I've got to go for one of them, haven't I?
Are you sure? Because you need one mark to get over.
Well, it just seems I just can't show about the bottoms. I just can't conceive of him saying that. It
was September 1994.
Why the hell would Frank Sinatra be talking about Noel Edmonds? I just don't. To me,
it was in an interview with The Guardian. It was an interview with The Guardian.
According to you.
From his hotel room.
From his hotel room. It's a lot for you to have made up, isn't it? But then you have got a pretty wacky imagination, so you may well have made that up. So I just don't know.
I might not have made it up.
Why the hell
it may
would
be in there because it sounds made up that you're now thinking that it's made up and it might not be made up.
Exactly. I just can't think why Frank Sinatra would be talking about Noel Edmonds. How would he even have seen Noel Edmonds? Or how would he even be aware of him? I mean, it's not as if he would have done Swap Shop in the 70s, is it? You know?
It was an interview in this country. He was in the country at the time.
He was in the country at the time. Thing is, if I now swerve to saying that it's true, I'm gonna be even more stupid than I already am.
You get an extra point, maybe.
How would
possibly.
he even have got onto the Guardian were interviewing Frank Sinatra? How would they even have got onto the subject of Noel Edmonds? I mean, how could that be possible?
They were talking about British entertainment.
Yeah, but even so, would Noel Edmonds be on his radar? I don't know. Maybe he would be.
Oh, if he's watching TV in his hotel room, or
that show about the bottom, that looks a lot of fun. Maybe he did watch it, and it was a crinkly bottom. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to say it's true because it's so bonkers that I'm saying it.
Do you know what? You've gone for the correct answer. And then you changed it to the wrong answer. I was sat there for ages thinking, I need a thingy question to throw in. And I don't know why, but Noel Edmonds came into my head. Oh, do you know what this is? This is our carrot in a box moment. I got you with that one. Yes. I played that well. Good poker face there, wasn't it? Did you like that? Did you like it? That was good, wasn't it?
So stupid. I just thought.
Right. Do you want to know how many you got? I can't believe I made. I tell you what, I battered a good game. I tell you what, Sean Locke, God rest his soul, has nothing on me after that one with his carrot in a box. Oh, good interview with the Guardian in his hotel room. God.
That's. I can believe that he would have given the Guardian an interview.
And look, I actually did write it, just so you know. Look, I did actually write the question out, so I did actually write it. Do you want to know what your score was? You got the last one wrong.
Did I get 12? Did I get 12?
You got 1,
13?
3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You got 14. That last one was the make or break. Oh, I'm so cruel, Phil. I'm not the one about the bottom.
I'm not the ultimate Sinatra geek because I didn't know that he'd not given an interview.
Not given 2 hoots back. Can I just read that question again, just so we can break it down in its entirety? Frank Sinatra once said in 1994 of UK entertainer Noel Edmonds, "He is my kind of guy." I threw that line in because I thought that sounds a bit Italian. He's my kind of guy. I would love to do that.
I actually think that "he's my kind of guy" is what he actually did say about Tony Bennett. But
oh, really?
Anyway, carry on, yeah.
He's my kind of guy. I'd love to do that show. I just threw that in about the bottom because he probably wouldn't get the crinkly bottom bit, so he would have heard the bottom. Looks like fun. That was the only bit in the looks like fun bit, which I thought, that might. I think that was a bloody good question.
It was a brilliant question, maybe the greatest quiz question of all time.
Of all time. And do you know what that teaches us, Phil? Do you know what it teaches us?
Right, it's true or false question, isn't it?
Well, it is a great true or false question, but never, ever try and mess with me again with a Boo Radley's question and Chris Evans' kitchen. Ever. Because I will get my own back, and I just have. I've embarrassed you to the whole world. You'll be walking down the street and people will be going, "There's that guy who thought that Frank Sinatra watched Noel's house party in the 90s. It'd turn out like some unearthed autobiography, like Sinatra's Diaries. 1st of October 1994. I was watching Crinkly Bottom with that Noel Edmonds guy. I really love the Mr. Blowby. Really fun. One day I really want to get in that gunge tank.
I've forgotten about the gunge tank. Yeah.
Who would have thought it? Frank Sinatra's on one of the gotchas that never got. I mean, actually, I just got you. I did a Noel Edmonds on you. I got you. I got you back. So there we go.
Well,
God, I hate my life. So there we go. There's the quiz. This week's quiz. I enjoyed that. I thought the questions you were going to smash. So Well, I thought he'd at least get the last one right.
Well, there you go. That's it, folks. I did the Sinatra quiz. Ben, I really got Ben under my skin. I tried to do it my way, but in the end, Ben got me with his witchcraft. There you go. It's a failure on my part to get 15 points. What quiz should we do next? Would you like to come on and do a quiz with us? Next quiz is it's going to be Chris, isn't it, from the Big Sugars? He's appearing on the show.
It is going to be Chris and the Big Sugars, yeah. We're going to do one with him on the Rolling Stones, I believe.
It's the ultimate Rolling Stones quiz we've put together.
We'll talk a bit of music with him, and we will hit him with some questions. Check out his knowledge.
We'll
see if there's a crinkly bottom question in there.
We'll get him stoned, but there you go. Right, that's it. Thank you for watching. We'll do another quiz soon. Thanks for your likes and shares, and I will now work out how I'm going to get Ben back. Goodbye.